That you might not have money, you know what I mean? You don't have access to resources and you can't do something. Just because you ain't got money, I mean you can't do something. You know what I'm saying? Like imagine the Black Panther Party trying to get a grant, you know, to fight the decadent American system. You know what I'm saying? And feed the kids. Oh well, we ain't getting no grant, so I guess we can't do it. You see what I'm saying? So we got to make sure that we decolonize our mindset. So the space is settled, we good. Here comes gentrification. The building's good up, and then check this out. 10 years later, the property owner comes back and said, y'all got to vacate. This is us. I said, I'm sorry, bro. We Christopher Columbus this shit 10 years ago. You late. Wow. And that's what we did. And we had a battle, public court of opinion, and we won it. Now it's ours. We took it. Literally. Straight up. Right? From one of the biggest developers in the city. Okay? So I just want to let y'all know that some of us need to be a little bit more aggressive, okay? Because these folks is behind on walls, they have made the ultimate sacrifice. Ultimate sacrifice. But some of us are being a little soft. A little soft. For real. Just a little. I had this cat tell me, you know, yeah, I'm revolutionary. I'm revolutionary. I'm like, word? He said, well, where can I park? I park my car in the alley. Oh, man, I can't park in the alley. I might get a ticket. Revolutionary. Park the ticket. Revolutionary. Something don't add up, dude. Something don't add up. Now, I haven't filed income tax in 25 years. Some of y'all shake. 25 years. And I'm keeping my promise to Johnny Cochran because he said the best way to air your grievances against the federal government is withholding income taxes. All right? Now, Jeff Bezos ain't paying no taxes. Amazon pays 0 taxes. Did y'all know that? A lot of billionaires and corporations haven't paid any taxes. But we scared of the man. We all up in line. I'm just putting it out there. You make your own personal choices, but I just want to make sure that we understand that some of us are not willing to risk our lifestyle, let alone our lives, like these people that we are celebrating have done. All right? So take that for what it's worth. I guess we're ready to go now. All right, so now I'll introduce you to the voice of Matul Shakur. Then we're going to bring up this beautiful talent, and I'm going to get out your way. But if we could have a moment of silence while these voices are speaking, I would greatly appreciate it. Please, please, and thank you. Ashe.
Ashe.
Let me start off with Sundiata right now because his life is still with us. His spirit is still with us. It is important for the masses of people, all people, to take a good, focused look at a man who has made a full commitment of his life to a people in many ways who seem ungrateful. We have the world theater to look at people making sacrifices for ideas we might agree or disagree with. The fundamentals of the 60s and the 70s narrowed down to pure and simple human rights for a group of people who were deprived of human rights. Maybe 5-6 years out of classic hanging, police brutality, separate bathrooms, disrespect on the job place, housing, and the like. We were looking at apartheid in South Africa that the world was and had made a determination that it was a crime against humanity, while at the same time these activities were being waged against us as a people. People like Sundiata, and in particular Sundiata, who had options to try to integrate into, though it might not be easy, but integrate into the society, was driven to do what was right, what a man would do, what a human being would do. Sundiata is still in prison. He is in prison since 1973. He was in prison before that, for the Panther 21 case, for trying to be about correcting a wrong against a group of people who had decided that it was our responsibility to propose another option for black people. And that option was to resist repression by any means necessary. And what we should do today, that's for the politicians to decide. As a political prisoner in prisons of war, we have to look at the sacrifices of our political prisoners and prisoners of war inside of the prisons and see how do we transmit to the masses that we have made these sacrifices and what relevance it has to the overall political landscape. Zayd was, I think, if I take after anybody, I think I take after Zayd. Because Zayd was a non-assuming brother. He was an intellectual. He was a cultural revolutionary. He understood clearly the beat of the vanguard, either vanguard in music, vanguard in courtier and clothes, vanguard in painting and art, and vanguard in ideas. And he was not immature politically, so his maturity politically allowed him not to be stagnated to the point where he was where he couldn't get along with anybody. He can get along with everybody. He can understand everyone's position, but at the same time, he pursued his own objectives, and whatever the objective was that he had committed to, he was full force behind. You follow me? And so his ability to get along with people, his ability to get along with other cultures, his ability to find the unity of the principles made him a danger to the counterintelligence program, because at the time that the East Coast, West Coast Panther Party was splitting, he was the contradiction that they could not resolve. Whereas Lumumba and Kwanzaa and Sundiata and Sekou, even though Sekou was underground, Larry Match, and some of these people were very clear that they had a contradiction with the West Coast and the West Coast leadership. On the other hand, Zayd's relationship with Geronimo made him and other great brothers up in the Bay Area and in the California region, made him the person that they could jacket as a jackanade. They could, he was still a person that everybody could talk to. And that made his task that much more difficult. It made his love for what they were trying to build in the Black Panther Party, what we tried to build in the Black Panther Party, that much difficult. And his dream to make it happen, he worked tirelessly every day to try to unite, and at the same time trying to build an apparatus for those who were targeted to survive. And so I joined him in his effort to do what I could to keep the Jamaica branch and the Corona branch of the Black Panther Party, struggling, and while I was still a part of the New African Independence Movement, the Republic of New Africa. And so I believe that that tolerance taught me tolerance, and that tenacity taught me tenacity. So that's where I got it, that's my example on that end. And that's what he was to many people. The people that people can trust. They can trust his opinion, and they can trust his ideas. They knew that he was on the cornerstone of any new theory, and he was a hell of a brother. And we need more like him. He was targeted. He was trying to help too many people. Well, he was trying to help everybody. That May 2nd, 1971 was a date after many other incidents had occurred in and around the New York area, and around the Pennsylvania area, and around the Jersey area, and the intensity of the manhunt for Assata Shakur was just tremendous. And the heat on the street was like nothing you can imagine if you have not been familiar with low-intensity warfare. And I would have advised to wait, slow down, rest, focus, and let the heat subside a little bit before you traveled on the New Jersey Turnpike. That's what I would have told Assata and Sundiata. In fact, worked to get Sundiata out of jail. I didn't understand he was in jail that day. In fact, in the Bronx for some crazy reason. And me and Sister Naisha Shakur, my sister's brother, did and bailed him out. So I definitely told him that I thought he should lay his ass down. I didn't know, obviously, because I wasn't privy to all that other information, what his plans was, but he was driven to do what he felt was right, you know, and that's what's so good about Sundiata, that he, he does what he thinks is right, where we don't know what makes him think it's right, he knows, and he pursues it. You know, I'm an old African. I relate to the African heritage, and sometimes you look at the signs and you have to wait and see what the signs are telling you. If you move while you're getting the signs, sometimes you move into conflict. But who am I to say? I'm in jail too, so you never know. But that's what I would have said to him, Asada Nze, on May 2nd, 1971. Sundiata was a man of all of the brothers that I related to in the path of 21 that never had any pretension. He was always someone that when you wanted the community to respect the so-called revolutionary, you would always bring somebody like Sundiata and Lumumba, because those were the brothers that the community just loved. They were down to earth, they were sincere, the people felt them to be sincere, held back nothing from the people, and they were capable, very capable of explaining to the people the fundamentals of the politics and the contradictions they were facing and the rationale for action that had to be taken. And when they finished talking to the people, we were ready to go. They would always be, where's Sunni? Where's Lumumba? And before we start any housing meeting, they would always ask for the people that they trust the most. And so, we could hang out on Oblivion with Sundiata.
That was Batula Shakur and Sundiata. Give them a round of applause. One of the things, y'all hear me? Yeah. One of the things that I learned about Sundiata that I did not know, that I think doesn't get mentioned enough, is that this brother didn't come up from the struggle. He actually had arrived, as some people would say, got a good government job, had access to resources, was uply mobile, and he gave it all up for the people. He gave it all up for the people. I think that needs to be acknowledged. And then when Matulu said that, the people always wanted to hear from Sundiata, he was a trusted figure, and they loved him so. And I wanted to make sure that that was said, because clearly everyone here loves him as well. But now I have the pleasure of introducing to you a DC treasure. This brother goes by the name of Kaba. Kaba, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, brothers and sisters, is a powerhouse and a force of nature. He got a good job too. But he never misses out an opportunity to give it up for the people. And when I called on him, he said he would be honored to share and dedicate this song to Sundiata. And I'm so honored that he agreed to come here. He's always there when I need him, and I want to thank him publicly for always being there when I need him. And I hope that one day I will be there for him when he needs me. All right? Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, brothers and sisters, Kaba.
Brother, give it up for Brother Kimon. He's already there for me when I need him. So, and also wanted to just thank everybody for being here, all of the fighters, all of the people who worked on behalf of our warrior, our fighter. A lot of time, I was, before I knew any better, I served in the military, but the flip side of it is that's where I actually got politicized in the military. And one of the things that always trips me out is people tell me, thank you for your service. And I'm like, I didn't serve anything but the corporations and the American military machine. So that's really what I wasn't fighting for my freedom or fighting for freedoms for everybody, all that nonsense that they tell us. But people like Sundiata Acoli was really the people that we should be thanking for his service, for the things that he did for us. He was fighting for us to truly be free as African people, because we're still not free. If you, as Malcolm said, if you're a second-class citizen, then you're nothing. Either you're a citizen or you're not. There's no degrees to citizenry. So anyway, we're still fighting for that freedom, and we got to give it up for our Baba Sundiata, Coley, and all the other warriors. So anyway, this song is was requested by Kimon, and y'all know it well. Of course, it's Winter in America by Gil Scott-Heron.
From the indigenous who welcomed the pilgrims, and to the buffalo who once ruled the plains, like the vulture circling beneath the beltway, never had a chance to grow. Never had a chance to grow. Just like the cities staggered on the coastline, living in a nation that can't take much more. And like the forest they buried beneath the highway, never had a chance to grow. Never had a chance to grow. And now it's winter. It's winter in America. And all the healers, they've been killed or sent away. But the people know it's winter. It's winter in America. And ain't nobody fighting 'cause nobody knows what to say. You better save your soul, Lord knows, from winter in America. The Constitution is a noble piece of paper with free society, struggled but it died in vain. And now democracy is ragtime on the corner, unemployed and hoping for some rain. Yeah, it was hoping for some rain, but it just don't look like rain. I see the robin perched on barren treetops, watching last-ditch races, struggling to get across the floor. And like the peace sign that mountain in our dreams, never had a chance to grow. It never had a chance to grow. Somebody wanna know, tell them it's winter. It's winter in America. As the sirens sound in the background, it's winter in America. Winter in America. And all the healers, they've been killed, shot down, and locked down, and sent away. But the people know it's winter. Even though it's hot outside, it's always been winter in America. And ain't nobody fighting 'cause nobody knows what to say. You better save your soul. And the truth is there are still some of us fighting 'cause we all know what to say. Sundiata was fighting 'cause he knew that we are all worth being saved. You gotta save your soul, Lord knows, from winter in America. And we'll keep on fighting 'cause we always know what to say. Thank you.
I'm glad to play Sean's voice still close up on the picture.
Carter, ladies and gentlemen. Shout out to those who did shot. Rest in peace. But now we're about to be joined by the voice of Sundiata himself.
My name is Sundiata Fundraiser. I want to thank all the people who came together, break the chains, that gave my release. I could not have done it without the support. And I'm forever indebted to you for what you've done.
Let's give it up again for Sundiata. Let's give it up again for all those still behind the walls. And let's give it up for the black and strong team that is partially responsible for him being home today. First, I want to bring up a towering figure on the cultural landscape of Washington, D.C., the people's lawyer. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, brothers and sisters, give a black hand to Nkechi Taifa. Come on, y'all can do better than that. Come on, y'all. I know I can do better than that. No, I want y'all to do better than that. Like, do it like your lives depend on. This woman been fighting. She could have sold out and got her money, but she went the hard way. And I'm so honored to have her on this stage here tonight. Thank you. Wearing purple, too.
Thank you so very much. Thank you so very much, Brother Kimon. Let's give it up for Brother Kimon Freeman. React Radio, Black Love Festival. See, I go back way back in the day. Thank you. This is beautiful stage here. So, listening to those words of Sundiata, I mean, I just feel filled. I mean, they were short, but they were strong. Weren't they strong? Oh, my goodness. And then before that, listening to Brother Mutulu Shakur. Mutulu's got to be next. We're talking about someone suffering from stage 4 bone marrow. So as we celebrate and we rejoice the freedom of Sundiata Acoli, we must know that there are many more out there that must be free as well. So I'm not going to say anything more because I spoke earlier about what I want to do is bring up the people who were really responsible for bringing Sundiata home, for bringing Sundiata home, for bringing Sundiata Acoli home. And first I want to call up Brother Lumumba Bandeli. I'm not sure where he is. I know he is around here with the Malcolm X grassroots movement. Brother Lumumba, the chair, I don't know if we call it the chair of the Sundiata Acoli Freedom Campaign, responsible for bringing Sundiata Acoli home. The general. Well, that's what I understand is her name now, but she is the attorney extraordinaire who perfected the strategy that brought Sundiata Acoli home. Sister Sophia, Attorney Sophia Elijah, the executive director of the Alliance of Families. Sophia and Lumumba, if the two of you can come up, and Kimon, if you can come up and shepherd what this part of the segment is going to be, because I'm telling you, this was the whirlwind, shall I say. You know, Marcus Garvey said, look for me in the whirlwind, but this was the whirlwind. This was the whirlwind that masterminded the strategy that brought Sundiata Acoli home. Brother Lumumba Bandali and attorney Sophia Elijah. I'm going to just give it up for this.
So at this time, we just want to hear a few words from these towering figures and the work that they've done and the effect of that work that's been done. And this is also a time for us to continue to have those donations come in. And if you can speak into the camera and make sure that folks know online where they can do that as well.
Good evening. I'm glad y'all still with us. First of all, please give a round of applause to Brother Kimon Freeman, the folks here at React Radio for hosting this and allowing us to have this celebration and fundraiser here. So thank you. Thank you very much, and thank you all for coming out. So, housekeeping, yes. Right now, if you are viewing online, we're asking people to go to www.sundiatafundraiser.org and click the donate button. It will take you directly to our Act Blue page where you can donate by credit card, Apple Pay, all of that. Then you can also mail in a check as well. And so we take whatever you got. If you got euros, we'll take that. You know, we probably take EBT, whatever. We are ready to accept whatever kind of donations that you want to offer. So that's the first thing. The second thing is I wanted to be really upfront and clear that the work that took place to bring Sundiata Acoli home was one that happened not only just these past 2.5 years, but as I said earlier, it's been happening over the past almost 50 years. And as soon as those handcuffs were put on him, movement stood up and said that we are going to bring you home. Now, certainly it should not have taken 49 plus years. It absolutely should not have done that, but it did. And we did it in spite of the state stepping up its work to make sure that what we intended on doing did not happen. But like I said, we proved them wrong. And we did the impossible. And it's important to name that because Sundiata wasn't the first. Sundiata was not the first to be brought home among of his comrades and colleagues who were coming out of this particular era of our liberation movement, who were told that they would never see freedom. They were told that they would die in prison. They were told, in fact, that at no point would they even imagine having a life outside of those bars. But we had something else to say about that. And we recognized that we needed to switch the strategy. We needed to make sure that our campaigns to bring them home were not stuck on awareness campaigns, but they had to be freedom campaigns. It wasn't enough for you to know who Sundiata was. We had to be able to inform you on what you needed to do to make sure he walked out of prison. It was not enough for you to know who Sekou was. We wanted to make sure you knew what you needed to do so he walked out of prison. The same with Jalil Muttaqin. The same with Robert Steph Hayes. The same with Herman Bell. All of these folks walked out of prison. Marilyn Buck, out of prison. They were all told that they would die in prison. The Move 9 were told they would die in prison. So I'm telling you to let you know that we have done the impossible before and we will continue to do it. Because we owe these people. We owe them. I was 1 year old when Sundiata went to prison. 1 year old. But the organization that I grew up in, the founder, G2 Wayusi, was a good friend with Sundiata Acoli. I found out later Sundiata helped to put his hands on the school that was created, and he helped do the math curriculum for the school. I just found this out not too long ago, right? But he has been able to do all of these things, and we owe them. We owe them a tremendous amount. And so we're asking you to make sure that you show your appreciation by donating. We ask that you show your appreciation by having your institution donate. We're asking to show your appreciation by having your clubs donate, by making sure that you contribute not only to Sundiata's campaign, but also making sure that we bring Matulu home, by making sure we bring Mumia home, right? By making sure we bring Rochelle McGee home. We got a lot of folks, y'all, that still have to come home. And so the work is not over. But we know it's possible because we've done it. All right? So while we celebrate today, we recommit ourselves to what we know has to be done so that we can complete the task of bringing the rest of our comrades home. So thank y'all for being here. General.
You know, you should be careful. I'm going to live up to that title.
Already does.
You know, as Lumumba was saying, a lot of people put in a lot of effort to bring Sundiata home. And there's another person here in the audience who contributed to that. I haven't had a chance to meet him in person, but I'm going to do that tonight. Justin, can you come up?
Come on.
But Justin was called upon in his role at Howard Law School to file one of the amicus briefs, one of the friend of the court briefs, to support Sundiata. In total, we had 7 briefs filed by 14 teams of lawyers. And Justin headed one of those teams along with his students. And I'm going to put you on the spot. Oh, yeah, I love it because, they label the general, so I get to do that. So can you tell me just quickly what you did with the students and their role?
Well, first of all, thank you for inviting us at Howard University to be involved in this historic moment. We had about 5 or 6 students who were just amazed that they could even be in the presence of this movement. And they were able to put together an amicus brief that was arguing not just for the injustice that Sundiata experienced, but the entire system of quote-unquote parole in the state of New Jersey and how it's rigged to make it almost impossible for our people to come home because they give such wide discretion to these judges that are politically motivated to make sure that people from our movements not only are penalized once, but twice, 3 times, 4 times, as many times as they can penalize us, they're going to do it. So we were part of a coalition of many other lawyers that worked for a number of months to help put together the legal arguments that ultimately were victorious in court. And it was the honor was ours and the pleasure was ours just to be involved with you, in the work that you've done for all these years. So thank you for making that possible for us.
Thank you. And thank you for being an example and giving the students an opportunity. Now I get to retire. Also, I don't know if there are any representatives here, but also you should know there were 4 black national law enforcement organizations that stepped forward and supported Sundiata's release. I'm going to say it again. 4 black national law enforcement organizations put their voices on the line and supported Sundiata's release. It's the first time in the history of any of our work on behalf of political prisoners that law enforcement came out like that and forced for his release. And it was not ignored by the court. And it was an 85-page decision by the New Jersey Supreme Court freeing Sundiata. And although I'm a lawyer, I know that many times the law gets in the way, but this time I'm going to shout out the justices who had the integrity to follow the law and do what needed to be done and free Sundiata after 49 years of injustice. So we have to give credit where credit is due. Last but not least, I will ask all of you, we've already asked you to donate, but I'm also going to ask you to send your prayers, your meditations, your good wishes to Sundiata and his family, because it is a lot for any family to come back together after 49 years of separation. It's a lot of adjustment for everybody involved, and all the love that you all send to them will help them in that process of a smooth and seamless reentry. It's a very, very difficult situation, as you can well imagine, but he showered with love from his family, and we can add to that. So please do us that favor and shower that family with love and blessings and peace and protection. Thank you very much.
So so this is the general right here, and this is the colonel. So.
I'm just going to ask everyone to give a round of applause to these 3 right here on stage. They've worked for years and years and years on this cause. So we got some flowers for them, and I would love if you guys would clap for them.
Thank you.
No, thank you guys. Couldn't have done this without them. So please, once again, a round of applause.
You're getting this, Mimi. Thank you very much, y'all. So I don't think we've been put out yet. Right, and so, right. Again, for folks who did not have an opportunity to make a donation, myself, Mimi, Sister Safia, Akira, we all have a QR code, and we can come to you. Just raise your hand, and you can scan the code, and from your seat, don't have to move anything other than your fingers, and you can donate that way. If you choose to write a check, we are accepting checks as well. So whatever form of payment, we are going to gladly accept that. And
I want to thank donations from
Baba Zama, thank you very much for your donation. Okay. And Eureka Huggins from Adasi. Thank you for your contribution. Absolutely appreciate y'all. Yes. Thank you. So again, we're not done, Brother Kimon. We're not getting put out yet, right? We got some time? All right, good. So I think there's still some more food left. We're going to put some more music back on. We're going to ask y'all to just fellowship, hang out, and reach deep into those pockets, figure out who else you need to tap.
Ask the General what she wants to hear.
General, what do you want to hear? He's taking requests.
Ain't no stopping us now.
Thank you, and we're going to be around for a little bit. But thank y'all for coming out tonight, y'all. Like I said, we were able to do the impossible, and we have a lot more to do with your help. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. And we're not done yet. Ain't no stopping us now. Appreciate y'all.